Okay, everyone. Now let's talk about JavaScript error handling. Now, in JavaScript, the try keyword. So, the try keyword in JavaScript is used for proper error handling. We try, catch, and finally. Now, let's quickly go into our code. Now, before we go on, please go to this URL and read more on try and catch. And when you are done, just come back and let's continue. And if you are done, I've created the script file before and I'm going to include it now. Script src index.js. Now, okay, now let's save it and I'm going to open it. Okay, so now how do we handle error in JavaScript? Now we handle error by writing try, by writing the code inside the try. And now let's try writing a code inside the try and let's see what it's going to give us. So okay, the try. It is only the try that we write now. Now let's bring up our console and let's load. I can see missing catch or finally. Now after the try, there must be a catch that is going to catch the error. It is a function and it's going to take in an error, the error parameter. So it will inherit the error from whatever is thrown here, maybe a type error or any error. So it's going to inherit it, and you can now log it inside the console. But what is used to display an error in the console is console.error. This is what is used to display error inside the console. Then we are going to pass in error for it to display the error. Now I'm trying to log a variable that I have not defined before. Let's say num1. I'm trying to log a variable that I have not defined before. I've not defined this variable before. And let's see what's going to happen. I can see reference error num1 is not defined. I can see index.js line 4. Let's go check line 4. I can see this is the line 4. This is the line 4. So it is logging the error from this place. Now let's try to change the error to log. You see that this is with the background color of red. Let's try to load. I can see the background color have changed, but this color, the color here, is still the same thing. So to display an error, so that we are going to tell the user that this is an error. Okay, so that is that. And another way to show an error is by throwing the error. So throw new error. Now this new error object is used to properly display an error. Let's say okay, now you made a mistake. Let us say it. Let us do that and load. You see, I can see uncut error. You made a mistake. So you can customize the error with the new error. Now let's try to log the error back now. Load the page. And you can see this one, the error that is there. It says that it will state the type of the error, but here it is saying that it is a reference error. Num1 is not defined and it's going to echo the error, but you can customize the error here by yourself. And the last thing is finally. So the finally is going to execute whether there's an error or there's no error. Let's just try to log something. I am the finally, and I'm showing this. Okay, now let's go. Whether there's no error or there's no error, it's going to show. So I can see I am the finally, I am showing this error. So now let's define the num1. Let's num1 equal to 2. Now there's no error now. Let's see what the finally will say. I can see the finally still executes. Now what you can use the finally to do is maybe you are executing a code here. Maybe you are opening a file or you are doing something. So, and if you open a file, I'm talking from other programming languages now. If you open a file, you must close it, like in Python and in PHP. So you must close the file after you've opened it. So maybe you want to close the file after this block of code here has been executed. Then you put the close. You put the closing statement in the finally. So that is that. And okay, and at times if the code, if there's an error in the code, it will stop the execution of the remaining block of code. Let me just write it here, console.log I am outside the try block. Okay, so if an error occurs, it will stop the execution of the code here. But with try, it will just throw this, it will just show this error and it will continue executing the rest of the code. So that's one of the usefulness of try. So let's reload the page, and this block of code still executes. And let's just try to comment this and put an error here. Log stay. Okay, so there's nothing like stay. We've not defined stay before. So let's just reload the page. I can see stay is not defined and it did not execute this block of code here. Now let's try to comment this out and uncomment this back, and let's try to cause an error here. Okay, no, before we cause an error, let's reload it again and see what is giving us. Here I am in the finally, I am showing this. Here I am outside the block. Now let's cause an error. Num1 is undefined. Let's see. We made a mistake. Here I am outside the block. So to execute this block of code here, you can just put them inside the finally. But it is advisable that all the code that you want to write in the script, you just put them inside the try block. And if you want to write any other code outside the try block, you can just put them inside the finally here. So let's see whether an error occur or not. This one is going to execute. I am outside the try block, it's going to execute. So that is how to handle error in JavaScript. So error handling is a very important thing in JavaScript, because users can mess up the front end page. They can do some stuff in the front end page, and they might try to break your code. And so instead of breaking your code, then you just handle it with try, catch, and finally. So this is going to help you handle the error. So you can just do a pop-up here that, okay, you can just alert a pop-up. For example, alert there's a mistake in the code, something like that. So let us load. I can see. So you can alert a pop-up, something like that. You can do something like that too. So this is error handling, and please just come to this documentation and read more about JavaScript error handling. So if you have not come here before, just come here and read about JavaScript error handling. If you have any question, just put it in the comment section. I will try to attend to it. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just click on the subscribe button, and that's how you can motivate and pay me. Yeah, okay. So see you in next tutorial.